Hey everyone, welcome back to Zengin Movies. Today, we're hitting the road again with the 1970s classic Smokey and the Bandit. You already know it's a wild ride filled with car chases, laugh-out-loud moments, and unforgettable characters. But what about the subtle details, clever Easter eggs, and hidden gems that slipped under the radar? That's what we're here for. In this video, we're peeling back the layers of this iconic film to uncover 20 hidden details you might have missed. From sneaky background moments to subtle nods in the dialogue, there's so much more to Smokey and the Bandit than meets the eye. So, let's gear up and take a closer look at these hidden treasures. Number 1. The Bandit's iconic car. Let's kick things off with the undeniable star of the movie, the Pontiac Trans Am. This sleek black and gold beauty wasn't just a car, it was a character in its own right. Driven by Burt Reynolds' Bandit, the Trans Am became an instant icon, embodying rebellion, freedom, and the thrill of the open road. But did you know its impact went far beyond the screen? After Smokey and the Bandit hit theaters, Pontiac saw a staggering 50% increase in Trans Am sales. Suddenly, this car wasn't just a vehicle, it was a lifestyle. The black exterior, the gold Phoenix decal on the hood, and that unmistakable roar of the engine made it as unforgettable as the Bandit himself. And here's a fun tidbit. Burt Reynolds wasn't just driving the Trans Am, he was essentially its ultimate spokesperson. His rugged charm and on-screen charisma turned the car into a cultural phenomenon. The Trans Am wasn't just a prop, it was a co-star, and its legacy still burns rubber to this day. Number 2. The Bandit's name. All right, let's talk about something you might have missed, Bandit's real name. Yeah, you heard me. While we all know him as the Bandit, his actual name, Bo Darvel, is only mentioned a couple of times in the movie. Seriously, it's like a blink and you'll miss it kind of detail. Now, if you're paying close attention, you'll catch Snowman, played by the legendary Jerry Reed, calling him Bo a couple of times. But here's the thing, the movie never makes a big deal out of it. No dramatic reveal, no backstory, just a casual mention here and there. And honestly, that's kind of genius. By keeping his real name in the background, the film cements the Bandit as this larger-than-life figure. He's not just a guy, he's an icon, a symbol of rebellion, freedom, and the pure adrenaline of the open road. Think about it. When you hear Bandit, you don't just think of a name. You think of that black Trans Am tearing up the highway, the charm, the swagger, and that smirk that says, "Catch me if you can." So, by sidelining his real name, the movie shifts the focus to what really matters: his personality, his legend, and the sheer thrill of his adventures. It's a small but brilliant touch that makes the Bandit unforgettable. Because let's be real, who needs a name when you've got a legacy like that? Number 3. Real trucking culture. While Smokey and the Bandit is packed with laughs and high-speed chases, it also nails something deeper: the authenticity of trucking culture. Snowman, played by Jerry Reed, isn't just the Bandit's comedic sidekick. He's a skilled and proud truck driver. The film portrays truckers as a tight-knit community, bound by a sense of brotherhood and shared pride in their work. Sure, it's exaggerated for comedic effect, but at its core, the movie captures the grit, camaraderie, and relentless grind of life on the road. What's really special is how the film shines a light on the respect and struggles of this hard-working class of people, something that wasn't often seen in movies at the time. Snowman's character, with his laid-back charm and undeniable skill, brings this world to life in a way that feels genuine. It's a reminder that behind all the laughs and action, Smokey and the Bandit has a lot of heart and a lot of respect for the folks who keep the wheels of America turning. Number 4. Smokey's outfit. Now let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Sheriff Buford T. Justice. Played by the incomparable Jackie Gleason, Justice is the antagonist we all love to hate. At first glance, his outfit screams authority: the classic sheriff's uniform, complete with a badge, cowboy hat, and that perpetually stern expression. But don't let the uniform fool you. This is where the conventionality ends. Justice's over-the-top rage, his relentless vendetta against the Bandit, and his sheer absurdity make him a larger-than-life character. He's not just enforcing the law. He's on a personal mission for revenge, and the film leans into that absurdity for maximum comedic effect. The uniform may symbolize authority, But Justice's wild antics completely shatter any notion of traditional law enforcement. Instead, he becomes a hilariously exaggerated, almost cartoonish figure. And that's exactly why we can't get enough of him. Number 5. The shifting license plate. Here's a detail that's as clever as the Bandit himself. Did you notice the Trans Am's license plates changing during the chase scenes? As the Bandit races to outrun Sheriff Justice, the car's plates switch up, throwing the law off his trail. It's a small but brilliant touch that highlights the Bandit's resourcefulness and knack for staying one step ahead of the cops. This subtle detail isn't just a fun visual gag. It's a testament to the filmmakers' attention to detail and their commitment to making the Bandit a truly cunning character. It's a sly move that perfectly matches his quick wit and rebellious spirit, and it adds an extra layer of excitement to the already thrilling chase sequences. After all, the Bandit isn't just fast, he's smart too. Number 6. The unexpected connection to James Bond. Here's something you might not have expected. Smokey and the Bandit has a connection to the James Bond franchise. Director Hal Needham, who was famous for his stunt work, actually worked with legendary Bond stunt drivers. Some of the techniques used in the high-speed chases in Smokey and the Bandit were inspired by classic Bond car stunts. Even more surprising? The Pontiac Trans Am almost had a special feature like Bond's famous gadget-filled cars. There were early talks about giving the Bandit a tricked-out vehicle with hidden surprises, but the filmmakers decided to keep things more grounded. In the end, the Bandit's real gadget was his quick thinking and fearless driving skills. Number 7. The hidden Dolly Parton connection. Did you know there's a hidden connection between Smokey and the Bandit and country music legend Dolly Parton? While she's not in the movie, her influence is there in an unexpected way. The film's soundtrack features Eastbound and Down, performed by Jerry Reed, who plays Snowman. Reed was not only a country music star, but also a frequent collaborator with Dolly Parton. In fact, the two even toured together. Plus, Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton would later star together in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. It's a small, subtle connection, but one that ties Smokey and the Bandit to country music royalty. The film's deep roots in country culture, from its music to its rebellious spirit, are just another reason why it remains an all-time classic. Number 8. Jackie Gleason's acting style. Jackie Gleason was a master of physical comedy, and his portrayal of Sheriff Buford T. Justice is a masterclass in comedic timing. Known for his iconic role in The Honeymooners, Gleason brought his larger-than-life energy to Smokey and the Bandit, turning Justice into a character who's equal parts hilarious and terrifying. From his exaggerated rants to his constant physical antics and explosive fits of rage, Gleason's performance is pure slapstick gold. But there's more to it than just laughs. His over-the-top portrayal also serves as a subtle commentary on the absurdity of authority figures when their egos overshadow logic. Justice is a man so consumed by his vendetta against the Bandit that he becomes a walking caricature of power gone wild. Gleason's brilliance lies in making us laugh, while also showing us how ridiculous unchecked authority can be. Number 9. Behind-the-scenes stunts. Let's take a pit stop to talk about the stunts in Smokey and the Bandit. Unlike today's CGI-heavy car chases, the filmmakers in the 70s had to rely on real cars, real drivers, and real guts to pull off the action. Those jaw-dropping jumps, high-speed pursuits, and narrow escapes, all done the old-fashioned way, with skill, precision, and a whole lot of courage. The film used actual Trans Ams and trucks, not digital recreations, and that authenticity is what makes the action so thrilling. Every screeching tire, every daring leap, and every close call feels real because it was real. These stunts didn't just add excitement. They raised the stakes, giving the film a raw, adrenaline-pumping energy that still holds up today. It's a reminder of how practical effects and real risk-taking can make action sequences truly unforgettable. Number 10. The one-liners. Let's shift gears and talk about the one-liners that make Smokey and the Bandit so unforgettable. Burt Reynolds, with his trademark charm and effortless cool, delivers some of the film's most iconic lines with a laid-back swagger that only he could pull off. Take the line, "I'm just a driver." On the surface, it's simple, but it perfectly sums up the Bandit's character. He's not a hero, not a villain. He's just a guy doing his thing. And that nonchalance is what makes him so irresistibly charismatic. What's even more impressive is how Reynolds' improvisational skills brought these lines to life. His ability to make every word feel natural and authentic is a big part of why the Bandit remains such an iconic character. These one-liners aren't just funny or clever, they're a window into the Bandit's personality, and they've stuck with us for decades. Number 11. A nod to the Dukes of Hazzard. One of the most enduring legacies of Smokey and the Bandit is how it paved the way for future films and TV shows. Take the Dukes of Hazzard, for example. With its rebellious heroes, high-speed chases, and love for fast cars, the show owes a huge debt to Smokey and the Bandit. Both feature characters who live by their own rules, outsmart authority, and deliver plenty of tire-screeching action. But the influence doesn't stop there. Smokey and the Bandit helped define the formula for redneck comedies and car chase stories, becoming a cultural touchstone that inspired countless imitators. From its charismatic anti-heroes to its adrenaline-pumping stunts, the film set the standard for how these stories are told. Even today, it remains a blueprint for action comedies that celebrate rebellion, freedom, and the thrill of the open road. Number 12. Real-world inspiration. Here's something you might not know. The story of Smokey and the Bandit wasn't just pulled out of thin air. It was actually inspired by real-life events. In the 1970s, Coors beer was illegal to sell in certain states due to strict alcohol distribution laws. This led to an underground network of beer runners who smuggled Coors across state lines, risking it all for a taste of the forbidden brew. The movie's plot, where the Bandit and Snowman haul Coors from Texas to Georgia, is a playful nod to these real-life bootlegging operations. It adds a layer of authenticity and intrigue to the film's comedic antics, reminding us that sometimes truth is stranger and funnier than fiction. So, while the Bandits' adventures are over the top, they're rooted in a fascinating piece of American history. Number 13. Snowman's personality. Let's not forget about Snowman, Jerry Reed's unforgettable character who's so much more than just the Bandit's sidekick. Snowman is a fully fleshed-out character in his own right, with his own skills, quirks, and charm. Whether he's expertly handling his rig, trading banter with the Bandit, or connecting with the trucker community, Snowman brings a unique energy to the film. He's not just there to support the Bandit, he's a key player in the story, and his laid-back, good-natured personality makes him impossible to ignore. Jerry Reed's performance gives Snowman a depth and relatability that elevates him from being the other guy to an integral part of the film's heart and humor. Without Snowman, Smokey and the Bandit just wouldn't be the same. Number 14. Sheriff Justice's rage. If there's one thing that defines Sheriff Buford T. Justice, it's his legendary rage. Jackie Gleason's portrayal of the obsessive, hot-headed sheriff is nothing short of iconic. His constant rants, his near-maniacal pursuit of the Bandit, and his explosive temper make him both hilarious and a little terrifying. What's so brilliant about Justice's character is how his anger escalates, starting with mild annoyance and building to full-blown, over-the-top fury. It's this relentless, almost cartoonish intensity that makes him such a memorable antagonist. Gleason's performance didn't just steal scenes, it set the standard for comedic villains in future films. Justice's rage isn't just a character trait, it's a driving force of the film's humor and energy, and it's a big part of why Smokey and the Bandit remain so endlessly entertaining. Number 15. The redneck comedy's boom. When Smokey and the Bandit roared into theaters, it didn't just become a hit. It sparked a whole wave of redneck comedies. Films like The Cannonball Run and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas followed in its tire tracks, embracing the same winning formula of high-speed chases, defiance of authority, and Southern charm. The movie proved there was a huge audience for stories that combined fast cars, outrageous humor, and a touch of rebellion. It didn't just entertain, it created a blueprint for an entire genre of comedy films. Smokey and the Bandit showed that redneck comedies could be both wildly fun and wildly profitable, leaving a lasting mark on Hollywood and pop culture. Number 16. The importance of friendship. While Smokey and the Bandit is packed with action and laughs, at its core, it's also a story about friendship. The bond between the bandit and snowman is the emotional heartbeat of the film. Sure, the high-speed chases and comedic antics are a big part of the fun, but it's the way these two characters support and rely on each other that truly makes the story shine. Whether they're trading banter, pulling off daring stunts, or just sharing a quiet moment, their camaraderie feels genuine and relatable. It's not just about outrunning the law or winning the race. It's about sticking together and having each other's backs. This theme of friendship adds depth to the film, making it more than just a typical action comedy. It's a reminder that, no matter how wild the ride gets, having a good friend by your side makes all the difference. Number 17. The iconic ending. The ending of Smokey and the Bandit is as satisfying as it is heartfelt. After all the high-speed chases, close calls, and laugh-out-loud chaos, the Bandit and Snowman finally cross the finish line. Just barely. But the real victory isn't in winning the race. It's in the journey they've shared. The final shot, with the Trans Am speeding off into the sunset, perfectly captures the spirit of the film. It's a celebration of freedom, friendship, and living life on your own terms. This iconic ending isn't just a conclusion. It's a statement. It reminds us that the thrill of the chase, the bonds we form, and the adventures we take are what make life unforgettable. And that's exactly why Smokey and the Bandit continues to resonate with audiences decades later. Number 18. The banter between Bandit and Sheriff Justice. One of the most hilarious and memorable aspects of Smokey and the Bandit is the constant back and forth between the Bandit and Sheriff Justice. Their exchanges, packed with insults, threats, and absurd misunderstandings, add a layer of comedy that keeps the chase as entertaining as it is thrilling. What you might not realize is that a lot of this banter was improvised. Jackie Gleason and Burt Reynolds had such incredible chemistry that they often ad-libbed their lines, creating a natural, organic sense of conflict. This improvisational style not only made their rivalry feel authentic, but also gave the film its sharp comedic timing. Every insult and comeback feels fresh and spontaneous, making their dynamic even more fun to watch. At its core, their rivalry isn't just about speed, it's a battle of wits. Sheriff Justice's over-the-top bluster clashes perfectly with the Bandit's cool, collected attitude, creating a comedic tension that's as iconic as the car chases themselves. Number 19. The filming locations. Let's take a detour to talk about the filming locations. Smokey and the Bandit was shot across the southern U.S., with most of the road scenes filmed in Georgia and Texas. Many of the high-speed chases were shot on actual highways, adding a layer of authenticity and real danger to the action. But here's a fun twist. Some of the country locations, like the diners and bars, weren't as rural as they appeared. Clever set designs transformed suburban areas into the perfect backdrop for the film's southern charm. This blend of real-world locations and Hollywood magic gave the movie its grounded yet larger-than-life feel. The choice to film in these locations wasn't just practical. It added to the film's authenticity and helped create the iconic atmosphere that makes Smokey and the Bandit so memorable. It's a reminder that sometimes, the best movie magic comes from blending reality with a little bit of imagination. Number 20. The Bandit's relationship with Carrie. At first glance, the Bandit's relationship with Carrie, played by Sally Field, might seem like a straightforward romance subplot. But if you look closer, you'll see how it reveals a hidden layer of vulnerability in the Bandit's character. He's always portrayed as the ultimate cool guy, a man of few words, in complete control, and fiercely independent. Yet, Carrie brings out a different side of him. Their interactions, especially as the Bandit tries to charm her with his wit and confidence, show a softer, more human side of his personality. It's not just about the thrill of the chase or the adrenaline of the road, it's about connection. Carrie reminds us that, beneath the tough exterior, the Bandit is someone who craves companionship and wants to share his adventures with someone special. The chemistry between Burt Reynolds and Sally Field adds an emotional depth to what could have been a simple love story. Their relationship isn't just a subplot. It's a vital part of what makes Smokey and the Bandit feel so warm, relatable, and full of heart. And there you have it. 20 hidden details, Easter eggs, and behind-the-scenes facts from Smokey and the Bandit. From the iconic car chases to the unforgettable characters, this film is packed with moments that have cemented its place as a timeless classic. Its perfect blend of action, comedy, and heart continues to inspire filmmakers and entertain audiences decades later. Whether it's the bandit's charm, Sheriff Justice's rage, or the little details that make this movie so special, Smokey and the Bandit is more than just a film. It's a cultural phenomenon. But we want to hear from you. What hidden details or favorite moments did we miss? Drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the greatest action comedies of all time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for riding along with us, and remember, no matter how wild the chase gets, it's all about the ride. Until next time, keep it cool, keep it fast, and keep it bandit style.